that just might change the world, from better or for worse.
We want to get you talking. We want to squash the status quo that certain topics shouldn't be discussed. That will make you go, that's inappropriate. We want to encourage an open conversation.
We want to inspire analytical thought. Why? Because communication just might be the key. From feasible to nonsense. I'm Anna. This is Revolution number 10. You're at the table. You ready? Okay.
Action.
Do I say hi? Hi. Hi, today at the table, we are going to explore the China's newly implemented social credit system with some special guests. My friend Jeremiah and my friend Chala. We will be discussing whether this is a feasible to nonsensical solution. I would deem it to be probably on the more feasible side since it's already being implemented. Which is kind of crazy. So just to reiterate, there's an article in the Business Insider talking about China's social credit system. So like in 2014, what they've done is they've implemented this system that acts like financial credit scores, where people can rate each other based on their behavior, therefore affecting that person's social score. It will move up and down. So the scores would then affect the person's social life. So they would be banned from, them or their children would be banned from certain schools, hotels, restaurants, traveling, that sort of thing. So what we're going to talk about, would it be a feasible solution here? And do you think it's a necessary evil? So I'm going to put that out there.
Okay, yeah.
Boys?
I think it'd be a good idea in North America, but I think it should be based on the law of the land and based on bylaws of the city that you're in, not just on how you feel about someone's behavior, because that's so subjective.
Well, but there's already laws in place to monitor that level of behavior. I think this is going a step further in monitoring people's social graces as opposed to, don't smoke on the sidewalk kind of thing.
Yeah, but are we in a position to start telling people how to live? If I choose to be in a bad mood and affect other people around me, that's unfortunate for them, but that's also my free will.
It is your free will, but it's also my choice to not put up with that bullshit from you and call you on it. And say, yo, man, you can be in as bad of a mood as you want, but you can't take it out on me.
Because it sounds like with this system that you can't do that. Like the way you described it, it sounds like it's just a direct, you're doing this, you're being a bad boy, you're being a bad girl, this is going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And is that something that could work here? I don't think so. Because
I don't think so.
Why don't you think so?
This system is a very sensitive system. When you implement a program like that in a system like this, there's going to be too much people judging, you understand?
Yeah.
And there's going to be too much separation. Even when you talk about if you're not feeling well that day and you come out and for some reason you're in a bad mood, you understand, you're around your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to call them out. But to use it as a system to say, degrade them, because you behave that way today, this is gonna affect you and your children.
Yeah.
That's I don't agree with that part.
What if it was just you?
Well, if it's me, then yes. This is why I say it will work. If it's me.
Okay.
That makes me know myself. I have to always be aware of what I'm doing.
Right.
And who I'm around.
But you are capable of doing that on your own accord. How many people out there need to be reminded that their behaviors aren't appreciated? And I deserve to have my social credit score lowered for that. Don't you think? Because I'm allowed to be in a bad mood, but I'm not allowed to make you feel bad. And I think, I still don't know how I feel about this whole social credit thing.
The Western world, all right, this is the Western world. People have a right to their feelings, their opinions. You understand what I'm saying? People could do whatever they want.
But can they?
Yeah, till the law says you can't do it no more. You understand what I'm saying? But the system itself is already rated people like that, but it's not implemented as a law. Because people who are always acting like that, they always get separated. You understand what I'm saying? They do get isolated. You could tell even where we are right now. Okay, your score is down. It's just rated already that, you're that type of people. You understand? So this system if it's supposed to implement a plan like what China wants what China is doing, right? They're already doing it.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have a fucking like a whole heap of mad ass people.
Well, we would alter it, right? Because clearly we're not an authoritarian state.
No.
But let's think about this. If this social credit system was in place, Doug Ford could not be our premier.
No way.
Nope.
Could not.
No.
Because he would have a very low social credit score.
Ford, a lot of them could not represent.
Exactly. Because they would be held accountable for bad behaviors. And so maybe on some level it would act as some like a tacit accountability for the people around us.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just no, because that would be. I was gonna say just implement it for people like in power.
No,
I feel like
leaders
people in
and shit.
power would be beyond it though, because they can pay people to give them a good credit rating. Right, like they can flex their power to get what they need, right?
Like fucking.
But that in itself though is a behavior in itself, no? So
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
That is a manipulative behavior, which would in turn lower your score again.
Yeah.
Someone could still take the money and give you the lower score.
Yes.
Right?
So
It's still risk. It's still risky, right?
yeah.
And then the person taking the money is going to have a lower.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
the
saying.
end of the stick either way.
Yeah, so that system is really corrupt. If you really think about it, it's corrupted. You understand what I'm saying?
Is there a way that we could make it implement? What sort of things would we have to do to make it not corrupt? Fair.
Oh shit.
Well, wasn't there a term in this that was also like trust?
Right.
breaking?
So what they state, the Chinese government states that this system aims to reinforce, and this is quote unquote, keeping trust is glorious and breaking trust is disgraceful. What gets me is what exactly are they defining as trust?
Yeah.
Right? Because honestly, at least in this culture, we are brought up to fucking trust no one.
No.
Every man for
So
himself.
how is this the be all end all of this?
No.
You know?
We crush the system.
So that's in a way where the cultural differences are really shown because.
So what would it be
China
for
is-
us?
Well,
Keeping peace?
Integrity.
Ooh, integrity, which we
Dignity.
lack. Right? Because like on the island in Italy, small town, care about your neighbor and how that behavior is going to affect those people around you, which lacks hugely more so in urban centers, but I think across North America as well, because you're from a small town, Heather, and like did you have that like social accountability?
yes, actually, now that you say that, but in a different way. Because there's that whole small town mentality, where it's like everybody knows everybody's business, right? So unconsciously, that was more in effect because, if you are doing a bad thing and screwing somebody over, they gave you a goat, you gave them 4 apples when you promised 20. Like, people
You were
are
born
gonna
in
know.
1705?
I haven't been there in a while, so I'm not sure if that system's still
Heather's
in
from like
place.
Lindsay, Ontario, for those of you who might know anything. What about you, Chala? Like growing up, do you think that like growing up on an island, you had more accountability to your neighbors and your behavior was kind of thwarted because of your reputation or your family's reputation?
Well, I tell you, growing up on the island, you have to always respect your neighbors. Mm-hmm. You can't go in the streets and behave and disrespect and be rude and not have manners.
Because your mom's going to smack you
Not
because
my
she
mom.
heard.
Not my mom. The community raised a child.
Right, that's...
So if you go on the street and a neighbor and you see somebody out there and you do something wrong and that neighbor whips your ass,
Yeah.
and you go back home to your mom, she she gonna whip your ass too.
Right.
Because
Double whammy.
she's gonna wonder why that neighbor or why that person
Had to
whip your ass.
Right.
That person could not just see you and just whip your ass.
Right.
You understand?
You had to be doing
So
something.
you run back to your mother or your father and tell them, oh, John whip my ass. They gonna whip your ass.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd you
and then
deserve
whip
it?
your ass.
So isn't that kind of like without the implementation of a social credit
Yeah, it
system?
is a social. If you
That's within your
wanna compare, it's within a
Yeah.
community. You understand? So if you want to compare it, it is, but it's not based on government or
Right.
higher power. It's
Right.
just based on
Strictly social.
who's living in the community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you said, a social environment. You understand, and who's living in the community.
Accountability.
You understand? Yeah. So if you go out there, like you have a madman, then it's fucking crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Like you guys call him homeless, you know?
Right.
We call him madman. You understand? You see him out there sleeping on the wall. You see him sleeping on the wall enjoying the sun. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You pick up a rock, you slap him in the side with the rock.
Why would you do that to someone?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Such a good story.
I'm like, Shala, what the fuck?
You know?
Is that why your mama beats you?
That is what I'm saying. So now
Someone's gonna be like, why are you doing that?
Now he's ready to go now. What do? You know what I'm saying? You already disturbed him.
Don't hit him with the rock.
No. Just leave him, let him sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so if you get punished with things like that now, you understand what I'm saying? On that social level when you're out there, if that madman take a rock and slap you back with the rock, you know what I'm saying? If him slap you with the rock, or you know what I'm saying, then what you think? You deserve it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you didn't give him a positive a look. You know, you didn't say, here's some food or something, you know. So the system that you guys are talking about, it works in certain ways.
In
You know what I'm
smaller
saying?
scale?
Yeah, in smaller scales. You understand? On a wider scale now, yeah, it could work. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes
Well,
segregation.
China has
now.
one of the biggest populations in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it becomes segregation now. You understand? On a level where it's not just one people is going to be segregated now. It could
Right.
be anybody.
Sort of reinforcing a classist sort of system.
Yes.
It's not the community policing one another.
No,
it's bigger than that.
Bigger than that. You
And it
understand what I'm saying?
becomes. Do you feel that it would become would less accountability actually happen because it's on a larger scale, or because it's a smaller scale you can actually learn something? Larger scale, you're just sort of like, well, can't do anything about it, so I'm just going to accept it.
I want to ask. Can we come back to that to the large scale thing? But Jeremiah comes from the Yukon,
Yeah.
so I'm interested to hear the
Yeah.
sort of what is it? Whereabouts in the Yukon? Big or small?
Whitehorse. Yeah,
Okay,
Whitehorse.
so
the
a
Whitehorse
fairly
is like
large.
25,000
Yeah.
people, right?
Wow.
So that's the capital. And the whole territory is 35,000.
So did you find that you grew up with that reputation kind of in the back of your mind?
Yeah, and it also has a lot to do with how you were raised. Like my mom taught me that you talk to people. You talk to people that are older than you. You give people the respect. You stay in the room if the family's having dinner and all the adults are talking, and you engage in conversation.
But isn't that cultural, as well? If that was the norm, do you think that's just individual as your
That's
parents?
individual for me for how I was raised. But I think in the north, because it's so cold and there can be a lot of extreme conditions where people can get hurt, we're always looking out for each other. If you
Right.
see a car off the road, you pull over right away. Last winter, there was a huge snowfall in Toronto, and I was stuck. Like, my truck just couldn't get out of this little snowbank, and I was trying to go down the laneway, and there were 6 guys with hard hats and boots. Like, they were tradesmen, obviously. And they just stood there and watched me, getting out of my truck, rocking it back and forth, and putting in
struggling.
first and
You should
reverse.
push this way.
And they were
Try going like this.
Yeah, they're
You're
15 feet away. And if that was in the Yukon, all 6 of them would have come. It would have taken one person a half a push, and I would have gotten going.
Okay, well, this is interesting because my sister had a similar experience, but she had a baby in the car. So this could have just been a bunch of people came by and got her out, even though she was the one that was being an idiot and kept trying to park in the spot that she shouldn't have been parking in. So I find that really interesting because
she's a girl.
She's a
Would
girl.
that go against? How would you use this as a way to judge their social score now? How would you implement this now?
Yeah, so there it's
this
almost like
situation,
help
I
thy
would-
neighbor,
I would
right? So you would get
Yeah.
points for being helpful, going above and beyond to help someone out when it's not your duty or it's not your place, right? So you're being neighborly, you're contributing to community and
Like a
So
society.
is being neighborly going above and beyond, or should that
It
just
should be the
norm?
standard,
Right.
I think. But if people need incentive,
So
Which
wouldn't
obviously
something
they do.
like this almost like enforce or encourage people to recognize that going above and beyond is now the norm?
Yeah.
Because I think what we're lacking in this culture is that level of accountability. That nobody's saying that we would rather look the other way and scoff at somebody's bad behavior than actually say, hey man, don't do that. Like in China, you can't spit on the sidewalk. So it's like a way different level of like authoritarianism. But on a micro scale, you guys are both discussing this like already in place but kind of diluted now idea of, like a community raises a child.
It takes a village.
Is this essentially, but without the technology and the Orwellian nature, perhaps.
I think just because we're so used to, especially like this generation, getting likes and stuff like that, and getting points and rating and all that on our apps and our phones, that a lot of those actions, if people were being neighborly to get points, it would be a disingenuous action to score points. So it's for themselves. It ends up being a selfish act in the end again, as opposed to creating a community that's actually helping each other, right?
So now everybody's being super good, but like for just so that they have a good rating.
Yeah, so they can get a better job or whatever.
Faker.
Well, but then wouldn't that be okay if everybody's being nicer to each other?
A system like Canada.
Even if it's fake? Like, fuck it, I'd rather
A
that.
system that we live in Toronto. This is what it feeds off the negative.
Do you think that's
it
a
does.
norm amongst all urban centers? Like city to city to city, almost across the globe?
Yes. Yes. It feeds off. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Just because the
not just
anonymity
everywhere. Yeah.
of the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
that was great that time.
Yeah, that's so. You think that? So then maybe something on such a big scale is more relevant in a bigger city.
Well, there's already things in place
Such
where
as?
we're judged, like Instagrams. There are social things. There are like, because this is something that you say would be like you would operate from your phone, like something that.
Well, that's
like,
what they're doing in China. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have things that do, in a way, again, rate us, but we're not. It's not as direct. It's indirect, and this is a way where it's more direct. Like we do judge each other with likes and loves and this makes me mad or whatever,
But you don't get punished for it.
But you don't get punished for it. Yeah. That
That's
just sort
what
of
it
brings
is.
it to that next level where it's like we already do rate each other, but this makes it that.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay, it's okay. We love that kind of shit.
But this is what adds that level of accountability, right? You're adding accountability to something that we're already using, right? You're implementing a more like hybrid version of what we're already doing, and then making
People are
it so
just
that we're
fucked
accountable.
up.
Being held
No,
accountable.
real shit. No, if you want
believe that. Real.
no, people are just fucked up.
I believe that
People
we
like
can,
doing fucked up shit.
Yeah, we do fucked up shit. It doesn't mean we're fucked up. Like if people are shitty, if human beings are innately shitty, then I want to die. If
There's two
I can
sides
believe.
to us, negative and positive, man. Sometimes we feed off of both. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need a little bit of that. Sometimes we just need to chill.
Well, you need
know what
the
I'm saying?
negative to recognize the positive and vice versa.
Yeah, they both work
The yin and
together.
the yang.
You know what I'm saying? But
So
you can't always force people to act. You know, it's like putting on a show. You can't do that. So the system itself, if you implement it, that's what it is. You're forcing people to act, which is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if people want to go to the nice places and do all the nice things and not have others judge them in a certain way, they're
Right.
gonna present themselves like
Appropriate, yeah.
You know what? I want a nice thing. I
But
want to do it. I want to get up.
But for the people it's irrelevant to, it's still going to be irrelevant to them. Like, if you care about it, you care
punish
about
them.
it.
Then you really show them that there's a punishment. You see what I'm saying? If you, all right, say you're looking for a place to live. and it does, and you're not that type of person, blah blah blah. You understand? Then they're gonna put you where you belong. You understand what I'm saying? That means if there's roaches and rats there, that's where you're gonna be. Where the roaches and rats are. Not just isolating a group of people. That's what I'm saying. It could go for the rich man. It could go for the person who has shit. It could have for
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So you can change your social position based on your attitude.
There you go.
Then it's all on you. Then you have power.
There you go.
Right.
You understand?
Then people like Donald Trump and Doug Ford couldn't be in power.
Shit! Where would he live though?
Yeah.
Where would he live? We'll put him in Baltimore somewhere deep in the fucking gutter. Way in the gutter.
Detroit.
In a burned out house. What are you talking about?
Your social standing in this system, in China's system.
I feel like my social credit would be very low.
I think I have a low score.
Where do you start?
That's what it is.
Like, are we afraid of what we would be rated?
Why do you think people don't check their current just credit scores? Like, imagine trying to if you could check your social score and you're like, ooh.
What do you think your score would be?
I'm gonna go do some good.
I'd do pretty high.
Today.
I think I'd be pretty high. Yeah, I'm super neighborly. I'm friendly to everyone.
Me, I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? But when there's certain things I've done, trust me, man. Sure.
A few people wouldn't think very highly of you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a few.
But maybe they're not on the app. Maybe they don't rate you.
I feel like sometimes I'm misinterpreted, and that's why I would have a low score. Because I am nice, but I don't come across that way.
Well, that's unfortunate because then you're being punished for your communication skills, right?
But this
not based on your intention.
But wouldn't this encourage you to
Develop
get better ones?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, if this person misunderstood what I was trying to say or do, I need to figure out how I can fix that, and so that this doesn't happen again in the future.
Right, because we should all be doing that anyway.
Exactly.
But this would force people to look at their actions and be like, oh shit, fuck, I shouldn't have pushed that fat lady and told her to put the fucking fork down or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would make you, like, instead of reacting, you would think. You would think before you speak. Like, my mom hammered that into my brain, but it never
Imagine if you have a device, right? A device that you can wear. You know, say a type of watch. No, not a shock.
You're into this shocking thing.
It's not even a shock. You know what this device is? It's a device that goes against, like, it will even lower your credit score itself by the behavior, by the way you behave. Your social score itself is, it pretty much is all you depend on. You understand? That's what gives you even a better credit score.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So even this itself, it will lower certain things and even increase certain things.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Even your credit card. It will increase the interest on your credit card just based on your behavior.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Even this device itself could be, implemented, even the banking system that you yourself rely on. You see what I'm saying? It could implement it. It could go against it. As say you push on the fat lady that for the pork and all of that shit right away. You know what I'm saying? Right away, this action itself would have a negative effect.
Okay, so
like a moon ring.
But with that being said, if you actually had if you had something to measure,
there you go.
That's what you're getting at, right? If you had a way to measure your score,
kind of like a lie detector, sort of feeling your energies, your heart rate.
Could you then raise your score by being like, oh, you know what? I've been a shitty person the last week. I'm gonna go and spend the day doing good deeds.
Yes.
Would
like
that
repenting,
raise your score?
Catholic, like Catholic confession, talking to your little watch.
So it's is that a way? Would that be a way to cheat the system? Where it's like, you know what? Oh, I see someone who needs help with their groceries. I'm gonna carry it.
But then that deed is valid though. It's actually a helpful deed. It's actually useful.
But do you learn anything?
Or are you just learning to cheat the system?
Exactly.
No,
are you learning that all you have to do? But are you learning that all you have to do is the bare minimum to get by? Is that actually changing someone's behavior, or just finding a way to adapt.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
But any repeated action becomes a habit. Therefore,
Yeah,
you do it
then
enough
it was
just to get the score, then
Yeah.
eventually you're doing it
Right.
not because of the score, but because now
Yeah.
it's become a habit.
And the bottom line is changing shitty behaviors, and so it doesn't matter how it happens, whether they're faking it or not.
They're
Yeah.
doing
Everyone's being nicer to everyone anyway.
Okay.
So then,
And then people start feeding off that good, and then
Yes,
everyone's a
yes.
little bit happier and helping
Yeah.
each other
right,
out more.
karma, butterfly effect,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so then let me put this forward to the table. How do you think this would? Do you think this would change the world on a scale of feasible to nonsense? How do you think this would change the world, Jeremiah? On a scale of feasible to nonsense, do you think it's feasible or nonsensical?
Feasible.
Feasible. Okay. Explain. How do you think it would change the world?
I think that people are really on board with any advancements in technology and new apps or new integrations. Like, we're going to start seeing the whole world change drastically in the next few years based on technology, on apps and all that stuff. So I think people would accept it.
Right.
Even if it was a trial.
just
Say,
because
say
it's
it
a fucking
starts off
app.
as like a little
Yeah.
thing, right? And they're like, oh, we're just testing this out.
Remember
And
Hot or
then-
Not?
Yeah, that's right.
Remember Hot or Not? When you used to be able to go through and
Yeah.
rate people hot or not? Yeah, that's what it's reminiscent of. Okay, sorry, continue.
So people
So-
do on Tinder.
People would get themselves hooked on it. Like, you wouldn't even have to sell it that hard if it started
Right.
off as not a law. It's like, here's an idea. And then once that change starts to happen, or people are like, oh, are you on that? You're not on that? Oh, well, you should be on that. It could take off, and that the change that it creates would actually
So it's
be
not like
incredibly...
you have to, you have to participate. It's, here's this awesome new app. Let's, like, everybody
Yeah.
join up.
Try it out.
Right,
That's how
yeah.
we could do that here.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. You could especially if it's like, hey, let's change the world.
That would
Download this
definitely be a way
app.
to implement it. Yeah, here.
Do you want to change?
But you could only rate the people that downloaded the app, and those are the people that are probably doing good things for each other. It's not the negative people that are going to download the app.
Right,
So
the people that are afraid to be rated are being like, yeah! Like, I wouldn't put it on my fucking
yeah,
phone.
I'd be like, I don't want to know.
Fuck that.
Right?
But it wouldn't
I think it's
really
feasible.
change. It wouldn't really change the world, though. It would just change who is on that app. It's not changing.
So
the
let's
world.
say,
Yeah.
for argument's sake, that everybody has the app. Okay, let's just say everybody's on this, everybody's got it, everybody's down with it. Would it change the world? Like, do you think that it would be a feasible solution for people?
It would absolutely change the world, whether good or bad remains to be seen. But
Right.
it would create a changed
It would
society.
You think it would destroy it?
Destroy the
How
world.
so?
There's too much evil people. There's too much wicked people.
But we're correcting their behavior.
You can't. Well, if their behavior is wickedness, there's certain people's not gonna accept. Certain people's not gonna wanna, come down from their seat.
But like you
You
said,
know what I'm saying?
there's wicked- sorry.
They're already in place. They're already ready and willing and already destroying.
Right.
So for you to, even if they get it on their phone, first of all, I know enough of that. They probably don't even have a phone, and they don't even have time.
well,
for
for
that
argument's sake,
shit.
everybody
if they have their
is
phone.
participating.
A
Yeah.
lot of people right now, the way the world is right now, if you're really looking at it on that scale, a lot of people are looking at destruction. You understand? A lot of people.
You
are looking,
believe that's the majority?
Yo, trust
Okay.
me. The majority right now is looking at destruction. Some people are not awake to it. A lot of people are not paying attention to it.
You don't think we
understand
can stop
what I'm
it?
Would the app create that attention that's needed?
Would it stop the destruction?
The app,
Like if it was
the
on
app
the
itself
scale of Facebook.
would send out a message.
Right.
It would send out a message. You understand what I'm saying? And to those who will receive the message will get it. You understand? But you might not get it on the scale that you want to. Just like what you're saying, if everybody had it, there's already too much. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you have to wait. You understand what I'm saying? And then do it. Just say, okay, let's see what's gonna happen 2-3 months from now, and just say,
Right.
you know what? All right, what's gonna happen? See the turning events in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's an easy thing right now. The internet system is an easy thing to do. Blah 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 blah, and it's out there. Copyrighted, and you're good. You understand what I'm saying?
By the way, this idea is patented. No computer geek can turn around and make this app. If you do, you will owe Revolution number 10 at the table. Continue.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. But the way the world is running right now, if you wait, you understand? In our system, it will work in our system on a scale where we could build a community. You understand what I'm saying? And the community that we're gonna build is gonna be based on the score we receive. You know? Sorry.
It's okay. It's recording.
Oh, sorry. It's based on the score you receive, and even that score itself, it will boost up your income itself. You understand what I'm saying?
Isn't the end result, if the end result is whether or not your intention is, if you're a wicked person, let's say, person is the person who's like a social climber, likes fancy things, likes fancy clothes and fancy cars and fancy houses. So a wicked person who likes all these great things is a shitty fuck, and their little device, chip in their fucking ear or Fitbit or whatever it is clocking them down because everything they do is crappy. Would they not have more incentive to not be so wicked so they can continue to have the nice things that they so crave? And in my opinion, I would rather a bunch of people being nice for the sake of being nice, even if it's for a reward, than running around being assholes for the sake of being fucking assholes.
Because if you can measure the way someone behaves, and if there is,
Well,
you know,
they're
like
doing it
if
right
there
now, you
is, but if there is like a feasible way to be
The
like
FRD, you know that chip? You heard about that new chip?
Yeah.
They're doing it right now.
and
You understand?
people don't want to associate with someone if they know that they're going to get fucked over by that person.
Yeah.
So if a wicked person like Anna has described is known to be a manipulator and like that's how they got to where
Right, then
be,
they've isolated themselves.
They've isolated themselves because, hey, that new deal that they want to have with that associate can't happen now because I checked your social rating and it's low. I'm going to question that and I'm going to walk
What
away.
if we go one step further and going on the notion that your friends are a reflection of who you are? If you're friends with a wicked human being with a low social score, your score will also lower.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Well, isn't that sort of following like what he was saying before where it's like intergenerational? It's sort of that same facet, right? Where it's like your kids' shit is affected by your shit. So if we kept it more individual, because you can be friends with people and still they're bad, but you're not a bad person, right?
Yeah, but then you shouldn't be friends with bad people.
To enforce. Okay, a person gets a bad score. The enforcement now. You understand what I'm saying? The enforcement. Does this person lose his property, his income, his bank accounts? You understand what I'm saying?
Life will become more difficult, yes.
You understand, but how would you enforce that? How would you get the power to enforce something like that just with building a system like that? How could you enforce that? You understand?
I think that's where that personal choice still comes in. You know, it's like, you know that this person is a bad dude. You still have that choice to associate with them, but you've been warned you will most likely get burned, right? So that's where I think that would work here, because that still gives us that sense of choice. It's not like this direct, this is what's going to happen if you do this.
The enforcement is the neighbor whooping your ass and you going home and getting your ass whooped by your mom.
Yeah, I understand
That's
that.
the enforcement. It would have to be non-tangible enforcement. We are policing
each other.
Each other. That's where that's why everybody's got to play the game.
So that's why it wouldn't work on a wider scale. That's what I'm saying. It will work on a smaller. You know, it would start with smaller. Eventually, maybe start spreading out. Depends on how you could really make it affect. You know.
Yeah.
One thing I know
Facebook started real small, and look at it now.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Does Facebook affect your income? Does it affect your bank account?
It can. There's definitely been people who have lost jobs because they've posted something on their personal Facebook. And I can tell you right now, in larger scale industries, where you in a way get screened through your personal accounts, because if you are someone that they're hiring and is supposed to represent their company, and you're like a racist fuck that's a sexist and whatever,
or you're constantly partying on your Instagram with coke,
you're a fear-mongering piece of shit, like they're going to be like, ooh, we don't want this person on our behalf because they are our employee. Say something and we are associated with that person. So like, nope, sorry, you don't get the job. Like, it happens. We still do get judged even now.
So do you know of this this like study with rats in a maze where they learn they'll teach a rat to go through a maze, okay? One rat goes through the maze. It takes him 3 weeks to figure out how to go through the maze. His babies take 2 weeks to figure out how to go through the maze. His babies 1 week. And then finally, 4th generation rat just knows how to get through the maze when it's born. So if this is a thing, perhaps the corrected behavior would become encoded in who we are.
Like genetic memory?
Right.
Cellular memory?
You gotta wipe out all the bad rats. You gotta wipe out all the bad rats. But yeah, you gotta. But that's it's a new. If you're talking about new generation, new life, you got. If you think there's people that just feeds off of that. You don't understand that.
I don't.
You understand? Like they feed. That's what they love. They don't care.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They don't give a shit what you want to say to them. You understand?
Right, that's
why.
And
they will not give up what they have earned or what they have success, whatever they call it. They won't give it up. They'd rather die.
Right, so then they have to be nice or they'll lose it.
Yeah, it would have to be government regulated at that point to actually make changes that.
First of all, you gotta wipe out all them government. They're the ones who's gonna lose all them seats.
We're not going there.
No, real. If you wanna be real,
this is not. I think the point is that it's because the China version is a government thing that's going to be implemented through the government, and we've already established that sort of government mandated
wouldn't work in North America.
So we're discussing how
it would work here.
Our version, what would that version be? Like, what would our version
And we already have versions
of it.
And
we already have versions of it.
When you go for a job. Or
what happens if we take it a step further, right? That's what this is all about. So I think it's very feasible that it could be a large-scale way for us to look out for one another. And also...
a lot of music. They'll have to stop playing a lot of music.
Why?
What? Do you listen to some of the music?
But why would they have to stop? Well, then we're infringing upon freedom of speech.
Oh.
We wouldn't want to. That's not the.
When you say something out of your mouth, it represents you, no?
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Oh. Because I swear a lot.
Yes.
And some people get offended by swearing, and how many people would...
But wouldn't that be... Well, it's not like... I feel like this isn't something that... Say you meet someone for the first time. Hey, I just met you.
Hey.
Nice to meet you, Jeremiah.
Nice to meet you, too.
So...
Wow. Yeah, that was a buttery voice.
I'm trying to get points here.
Yeah, I see that.
I want my social score.
Oh my God. But so say we didn't get along at all, and it was the first time I met you, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? I don't have to see this person again. Maybe I won't see this person again. Should I rate them? Probably not, because did we disagree?
How about you're not allowed to rate them at that point?
It's like if you meet someone a second or third time, that makes sense. But if you're meeting someone,
that's why you need the device.
Yeah, the device. I like the device because
now you're pretending.
Yeah, like a way to measure is
like your chakra, your intention.
So it'd be based on intonation.
It would catch off your brainwaves. Anything goes off your brainwaves, heartbeat, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Go boom right away. So even if you say, "Hi, Jeremiah," if that hi wasn't genuine, then you'd be like, right away. Right away.
What if this device? It's just as soon as you meet someone, it just shows you a number, which is the score.
Their score?
Their score. So it's
so now that's going to influence how you view them.
Just see. You don't have to know what gave me that score, but you can see.
Oh, but if someone's score is fucking 7
or 7,
you're gonna be like, oh fuck, how are you treating that person now? Because
you're gonna treat them inferior to you because you got a higher score.
But that gives you the chance to not even engage the person and walk away, right? So you don't have to rate that person if you don't even meet them. You know, it's
Right.
like you're a 7. I don't want to know why you're a 7.
I don't even want to bother with. Yeah, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that person.
That would be negative, no?
Yeah, but that person will fucking learn. You fucking 7. You shouldn't be a fucking 7. You should be a nicer fucking person.
Yeah. And
Whoa,
that's
my score just dropped to like 0 with all those fucks.
But no. But no, you can still like be that kind of person because you're not saying that in a malicious way, right?
Yeah, but
you're not yelling at someone being like, you're a fucking bitch.
Alright, if you're in the public and you're a fucking fuck ass fuck. You understand what I'm saying? If you're around people that don't like it and you're still fuck,
then maybe if you're about to explode, but
explode.
maybe if you're doing that because you're in a bad mood and it's starting to spill over into the people around you, it's different if you're at home. You're at home. Do whatever you want. But hold on. Because like what happens if you're like on the bus and you're doing that. And then what happens is that you're noticing that your score is going down. Maybe you rein yourself in a little bit.
Right,
and wait
exactly.
till you get home and then have that sort of emotional.
Would you jump back to where you were because you reined yourself in? Would that be like the reward for stopping the bad behavior? Or do you stay where you were when your score lowered?
That's sort of up to you, isn't it? Because you could notice by the first couple or, 5 points down later, it's like, okay, I clearly... I need to just like be quiet for a second. Like,
I think a lot of people will just be isolated. People, like I said, people just have
we're
some
social beings. We don't want to be alone.
They just sometimes people just that's how they want to be. Like if they're in their sour mood, they just want to allow them and let them be in their sour mood.
Might try and get the lowest score possible.
Yeah,
whatever.
fuck that. I don't really care. Fuck you and your. Like that's people, you have to allow them to be like that.
Right. And
so it's like that system itself is if you really look at it, it's like you're really trying to entrap somebody, to always want to.
Well, you're allowed to feel angry.
You gotta be tippy toes, know?
No. Well, okay, I see where you're coming from, but in my opinion, it would be more about forcing someone to check their own behavior. For example, someone like myself who uses the word fuck as a punctuation to express something. It's not out of anger, right? I'll be like, oh, that was fucking awesome. So let's say, as I already do, I'm in a place where that would not be appropriate. I would think twice about that particular behavior.
You be. That's what I'm saying.
Person,
the punishment has to be like drastic. You know what I'm saying? You cannot sit like. I understand why China is doing that. You understand what I'm saying? It's all, to me, it's segregation. That's my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's why China is doing that. China is really trying to put, like, who doesn't have that class? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't have that posh, that
I think they're trying to separate the rebels from the squares.
For me, I say the rich from the poor.
Yeah, that's what
you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Because who can't afford to do certain things is going to do certain things. Who has to go around and,
I feel like it's not
dig through the garbage to get
but
food.
I feel like, well, because again, we're modifying it though. We're modifying it to a way that we feel like could work here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
unless people are increasing your social credit score because you're rich and that's a virtue that they appreciate, and so they're fucking clocking you up because you've got a platinum credit card.
Of course.
That's something that is
bias.
So
It's a
many
bias
loopholes
system.
here.
It's a bias system. That's what I'm saying. If you fuck up, it's like you said, the government. You see what I'm saying? At the government itself, it's like you have to really look at our leaders. Who's leading us first before you can even think about implementing a plan like that? You have to put it to our leaders. You see what I'm saying? So when they get it, when you see it start happening to them, people be like, whoa. Everybody look at Trudeau the other day with all that bullshit.
No.
If he had that device on him, right away, he loses his job.
Gone. Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
he loses
totally.
his job.
well, it would change the way.
Will Rob Ford be our mayor?
No way. But then would our politicians constantly be cycling through?
Right away.
Because it's like they get to the top and then all of a sudden they're down.
If you're not on point, right away. You have to be. You cannot do nothing.
Going all medieval on
You
your
gotta be a
ass.
savior.
Of course. Right away.
King for a day.
You need
Why not?
Jesus in power. It's the only
Right
way.
away. Right away. If your mind frame itself if your spirit itself is not cleansed, it's not, you cannot sit in those seats.
Would that mean mob mentality could actually be more powerful with something like this in place? Because say the people around you are thinking the same as you and you all rate each other the same, then it's like, you know, I don't know, like what's in it?
Like you can rise together?
Yeah, like
if
they
you're
rise
within a
together
group,
because they all think highly of each other.
Yeah.
You know, going to what you were saying, like your friends, depending on...
Right.
But if they exclude people, if they're bullies and they exclude and they become this club, then that would go against them, right? So then...
Catch 22.
That's kind of like a self...
It won't work.
Well, that's where that large...
Exactly, where it would almost work
Scales will always
because it
be
would...
tipping this way and that way based on your social position.
If you get 500,000 people who's willing to do the same thing, you understand? Like, stay on that point. Like, they're doing exactly the same thing that there's 500 people. Think about 500,000. I'm not saying 500,000 people is doing the same thing. Then you will see a system. You will see a system within the system. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You see, it pretty much you have to build like a circle. You understand? And within that circle, anybody that comes in the circle, then this circle has to rate them. You understand what I'm saying? So if they're not on a I rating, they cannot enter that circle.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So to me, that's what I'm saying. It's segregation in itself. So it's like you're just gonna have all these different people who act certain way, behave certain way. Yeah, there you go. Points becomes currency.
Right,
I like it, man.
Rather than isolating, I think it would force us to come together.
Yes.
In agreement on certain things. I think in my utopian society, where people are not innately shit and wicked, we do wicked things and we can be shitty, but I think innately we are good. And I think that we have just strayed from being good and we just need to come back to it. Like, I think it's a North American idea to be wicked because we have this notion of more, where that idea of more does not actually exist in several other places around the world because it's not even a possibility.
It's all about enough.
You can
exactly.
What about bad food? What about food?
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, man.
we actually that is a whole nother topic.
You were shut out a lot of restaurants.
But going back to what you were saying, I think that I don't think it would be on as grand of a scale as you're thinking, because it would be like, for example, taking Whitehorse for, you know, emo, those smaller towns, they're not gonna give a shit about what's happening in Toronto. Yeah. They're not gonna give a shit about what's happening in Quebec. Like, they're not gonna give a shit about what's happening in the Yukon.
Well,
you don't care about their day to day. That's it. Yeah.
It is going to be the
communal
people around you. It is going to be communal. It is going to be those places like your social
circle.
The social
if you live in
credit,
that environment, that community. Yeah.
The social credit does depend on your community. And I think that's the point.
So the effects would be seen on a small scale, even if the app or whatever it is broadcast on a large scale.
Yeah, like
you would only be seeing the effects on a small scale.
Because you're only going to see the same people, you know, same neighborhood, same job, same
That's why
friends.
It's only your individual score that matters, not necessarily the score of other people until you meet them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because if you move out of your community, your score stays the same. Just because you change countries or province, your score is still the same.
Right.
And then when you're meeting other people, they're going to see that score, and maybe, you know, you move to become a better person.
I don't think people should be able to see your score. Like, Instagram doesn't let you see the likes anymore. I don't think that people should be able to see your score.
No, but that's why the device itself will read off of you, like, what's your true...
So your device is less rating and more intention.
Yes. I'm
like
into
vocal
like
tone,
I'm into
what
like
you say, like catchphrase.
So that makes almost more sense because it's not based on somebody else's judgment of your actions. It's based on your actual intentions.
Yeah.
That might work better, like some weird little fucking matrixy chip or Fitbit.
So it will
like
make
a mood
you,
ring, like a
it will
mood
make you
chip.
yourself. This is what it will do. It will make you become a better person.
We would hope.
We will hope. You understand? Because after a while, you might like fuck it.
So you think that this is feasible then, Chuck?
Huh?
You think this is feasible?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think
think it's feasible, you
I
said?
think it's feasible, yeah.
What do you think, Anna?
You know what? After this conversation, guys, I don't No. Personally, I think I think it would be feasible, and I think that it would be a positive change to the world, and I think that it would lead to the bigger picture. It's not about the here and the now and the in front of your nose. It's about the future. It's about seeing the forest through the fucking trees. It's about not looking at you today, but them tomorrow. I'm Anna.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Jala.
And I'm Heather.
And you're at the table. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.